To all active Eyes of Smoke augurs, from Senator Sofina Laurentis, Arch-Sibyl. Many of you have expressed concern, publicly and privately, about the current state of affairs. The never encroach on our grand capital, Novara. Chaos rises, and entropy reaches to the far corners of the world. The belligerent legion stampedes across Zel-Sha'el. Put your fears to rest. The prophecy accounts for all things. Not a single event transpires that I have not accounted for in every possible deviation. No matter what happens, we shall survive. An individual death is cause for tears. The destruction of a hamlet is cause for gnashing and wailing. The destruction of a whole city is cause for shock and terror. But none of these are cause for panic. Our concerns are global. Our methods span centuries. We alone see the world for what it is and what it will become. The God of Foresight gave us everything we needed to endure, and endure we shall. Take heart that our mission will succeed, and everything we do on behalf of the prophecy contributes to that success. I am proud of each and every one of you, and I am honored to serve alongside you. Yours in time, Arch-Sibyl Sofina.
We have entered the Suleiman zone.
How did we get here?
It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle, where it's difficult to tell where and when exactly you entered the Suleiman zone, but it is deeply evident once you are there. For whatever reason, whether it seems like a good idea or this is simply... No, it seems like a good idea. It absolutely seems like a good idea, and that's why it is that we are doing this. Commander Czar has dictated that we are following up on a lead that Alchemist Suleiman has put forward at the Grand Lyceum, an ancient structure close by that supposedly has something underground, some sort of bunker that has information that would be useful to the Legion. Matthew, can you read the rewards and penalty for the infiltration recon that we're about to set off on?
The rewards are +1 asset. And if and when...
Nope, other one.
Wrong one. Sorry. +1 intel. And in the next downtime, you can start a free downtime action related to the use of knowledge or research as if the quartermaster had selected that action.
That's huge.
Penalty-wise, it would be +1 pressure and -2 uses of Blackshot, as Suleiman makes an attempt at getting the knowledge himself.
Outstanding.
Do we think Suleiman has gained a lot of social capital within the Legion? Or is he really just getting this power from the command staff?
I think he thinks he has gained a lot of social power.
He's friends with Lance, who has channels.
And he's demonstrated already that he's capable of convincing and or bribing rookies into doing things that they might not otherwise do.
Yeah. Lance is popular, huh?
Lance is very popular, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really think about that before. I know
Lance is kind of a hero.
I know he's kind of like a kind of a chaotic dude, but
he's a loose cannon hero guy.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I know it's probably not that, but when it says Suleiman, I guess, uses 2 uses worth of black shot. I don't know why my first thought I was like, why would he eat it?
He would, though.
He is the type of guy that would taste every chemical that he has on his shelf, just so he could know it by taste and smell.
Just first thought was like, why is he eating that much of it? That can't be good for him.
That's like 10 rookies worth.
One for a mission, one for me.
No, I imagine he uses the black shot for like some sort of like alchemy, like burner situation.
There's definitely some burning going on. What I really like about this is it's sort of worded as if like you don't take the mission, then he does this. But this is written as a penalty, which means if you fail this mission, he's still going to try to do this.
Yep.
Yep. It's a threat and a promise.
It is. That's the Suleiman Zone guarantee. The commander gets to ask questions based on current intel. Matthew, you did me the solid of providing what your plan was with the intel beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go down the list and I'll give you some answers?
Sure. One at a time or all at once?
One at a time, please.
Sure. For the 3 intel question, what is a specific broken researching? The specific broken that I'd like to ask about is Ruin.
Of course. Ruin is, as we know, because of the dense forest, the only one of the broken that is available to contend with. Whisper is circumventing the rest of the forest. Ruin you haven't really encountered Ruin in a primary mission in a big way just yet. There was a bit of a fiasco with secondary mission a bit ago, and then Ruin's forces kind of showed up at the tail end of the mission where we saw the other Legion. And part of that is because it's slow going in the forest. We've said before that it's dense, it is difficult to navigate, it is troublesome for the way that the Nevers forces operate, in that they are difficult. They don't display a great deal of autonomy or great decision making on their own, and so sometimes they can wind up taking very like roundabout kind of paths without proper guidance. On top of that, there's a lot of snow. Winter has begun to set in, and it is noticeably slowing both the Legion's path and that of the Nevers. But there's another reason, I think, why Ruin's forces have been slower to chase than you would expect. And your scouts report that there is a really curious pattern of excavation and demolition going on in the places that you've come from and have passed through before, the places where Ruin is actively moving through. There are a lot of places where there are settlements or fortification, whether they're brand new or whether they're very old, whether they're just places where nobility is living or it's just villages, forts and domiciles. But no matter what it is, no matter who it belongs to, if it's something that the people of Zelsha'el built, then Ruin's forces raze it to the ground. They are on some kind of pattern of absolutely tearing apart, not merely like leaving for the forest to overtake, but flattening, razing any vestige of the civilization that was there before.
Cool.
Yeah.
Trying to delete the hard drive.
Something like that. Yeah. Delete it and defragment it at the same time. Ruin seeks not merely the end of civilization, but the obliteration.
Seems like a cool guy. Okay, so second, or 2 intel rather, question. What challenges or problems are inherent in a specific location ahead? And of course, I'm talking about the Senate.
Whisper's forces are already there.
Oh.
Whisper's forces have made it to the Senate. I think they arrived like right after the last sort of convoy from the Heart of Arcadia got there. From all appearances, they made it in safely, but then the city was encircled and has been put to siege.
Ripazar's dad.
Yeah.
I guess so. Is there a follow-up on that one in particular that you're interested in? Like the never being there, I think you could have like sussed out to a certain degree. Is there a specific like angle that you're interested in?
So the never are there and they've besieged it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like it's currently under siege. Our Senate is landlocked, right? I'm not actually looking at the map right now.
It is.
I believe it is. It's inland, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's probably a river that goes there, but not a major river.
Okay. So most of the sort of goods and services and stuff were through just like roads, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah. There's another city further to the south that probably would have been like the major like supply point for the capital.
And maybe like farms and stuff around it or something.
Yeah, 100%.
Is this like a bossing say situation?
Tell me
in terms.
Oh, if that's an Avatar, I've never seen Avatar.
Oh, Brendan,
Look.
you gotta see Avatar.
Well, I've got some real world examples, maybe.
Sure, give me a real world example, Gavin.
So, Jerusalem and Washington, D.C. were both built in such a way that they are like really shitty places to build a city. On purpose to like showcase the like power of the people who are building them.
Sure, yeah.
They wanted people to not want to be there so that they would, so they could finish their shit and go home quickly.
For sure.
That worked well.
Yeah, and remember the capital used to be the heart of the not the heart. You're in the heart of Arcadia. The capital used to be the empire, the seat of the empire, where Draknor and the line of kings and emperors before that had their throne. So in a big way, yeah, I think this city, which I think we've named, let me find my list of names. This is an end name, I think. Bob. I'll fill it.
I'm loving it.
There it is. Novara? Devin, does that sound right? Is this Novara?
Which one?
The capital city of the empire?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the city of... We keep calling it just the capital. I think a lot of people call it the capital, but in olden times, it was called Novara.
Yeah. So what I meant by is this a bossing say situation is this like a ringed city with lots of walls? Maybe as a Minas Tirith is a better reference here.
Yeah, I think it is a city that is capable of withstanding a siege.
Okay, so there is enough space for like farming inside the walls, or at least a layer of walls. That's the question.
Oh, I see.
Like, when they get there? Are they having to contend with the fact that the Senate is going to be starving? Or probably the Senate's not starving, right? They get all the rations. Everybody else is starving.
I think that the surrounding area and the way that the city is built and the way that it has conducted itself, particularly knowing that the threat of the Never has been out there, is such that the city has kind of been preparing for this eventuality.
Got it.
Okay.
Also, I'll just add in, because this is going to come up at a later date. There was a very famous siege that happened there.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, a siege that went poorly, so they might have even made more defenses since several hundred years ago.
Dug some wells.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the news that the capital is under siege does not inspire like panic. It inspires a feeling of like, well, this is going to happen eventually, but the capital is suited to hold out against a siege.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Next question.
All right. At Intel level 1, the question is, what's a challenge we might face on this mission?
On this mission, so you're going to the Grand Lyceum, which is kind of a temple, but also kind of a library, a tremendously old and tremendously big building that is renowned and revered, but is very, very... I think your initial reports describe it as like not a ruin, but right on the precipice of being called a ruin. Like it would just take one inspector cresting a hill and getting a look at this building to describe it as a ruin, such that it might be very difficult to find a way in on the ground level without doing some degree of like exploration, demolition. But of course, any kind of demolition might bring down more than you're expecting to see bring down. It is very tall, and so you might be able to find some way in above ground level. And whatever is inside has almost certainly likewise felt the eroding grasp of time.
Okay, and then final intel question. What is the highest threat we can expect on these missions?
Your scouts report that Ruin's forces are slow and steady, but they are unrelenting. And at their head is a grafted, bigger than anything, probably than anything that these people have ever seen before. It is just a massive amalgam of people and plant life that has been welded together into a demolition machine. The highest threat level on this mission is 4.
Hell yeah.
For somebody who likes to destroy stuff, they sure like building big things as well.
Look,
it's balance.
You
it's all about
gotta
balance.
Break a few eggs. You gotta make an omelet to break a few eggs.
Yeah. Also, I don't think we've ever seen them on screen, but Ruin, who used to be Kashavan the Ever Blooming, like their whole thing is that they ride around in like a weird floating nest. So like they exist in a construction.
Yeah, that is still true. I hope we get to see it on screen soon.
Oh, soon.
I hope not.
Okay, Marshall, who's going on this mission?
On this mission, I am sending Nikolaj, Nabain, and Lark with the Grinning Ravens.
Who's everyone playing?
I am Lark.
I'm going to be Nikolaj.
I'm going to be Nabain for however long he lasts.
And I'm going to be reprising my role as Ashling.
Ashling of the recently shark tooth filled mouth.
Maybe he can find a book about it.
Maybe. Here's a question. Has Azar told the group at large or specific people about the implied connection to the Eyes of Smoke that this mission seems to be hinging upon?
That's a good question.
Don't have to answer right away. Just something to think about.
I feel like with the Eyes of Smoke, we just haven't had the time or energy to have any beef with them.
I have beef with them.
I mean, like the Legion as a whole.
I mean, we specifically, one of the reasons that we set Nikolaj up as being untrusted and having that harm for so long was because of like rumors about the Eyes of Smoke's connection to the big loss and the breaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like we haven't had any like direct confrontations with them.
Yeah.
Aside from that one that was apparently goofing around with Lydia, who is still your prisoner.
Correct.
Well, we still have Carla, technically.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, Devin makes a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I think he told Nabain, and because I think, Gavin, is this correct? Nabain's leading the mission?
Yes.
Or is Lark? Okay.
No.
Then I think he told Lark and Nabain, and in a way that he thought that he wouldn't have to say keep this under wraps, but he didn't say keep this under wraps, and Nabain then told everybody in the squad.
Great. Good.
Sounds like Nabain.
Bless Nabain.
What's everyone's load and items for this mission?
I'm normal. Nabain's normal.
Nabain.
In addition to his free reliquary, he's going to bring books and scrolls, which feel relevant, and Black Shot.
Yeah, Nikolaj is going normal. And then, in addition, Nikolaj has an option to bring a soldier's kit if someone else wants to bring other stuff.
I'm bringing a soldier's kit. I don't know what else I would bring instead. I basically have 3 kits on me. I have a wrecking kit, a soldier's kit, and a medic kit, and that's my loadout. And my big anchor and my fine heavy weapon.
Dang, very good. Yeah, I was torn between supplies or a repair kit. I don't know how much fixing of shit we're going to be doing, but...
I can get supplies for free with Scrouge.
Oh, fabulous. Then I won't do that. Maybe a hand weapon.
Actually,
wait.
Maybe okay. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but maybe you take soldier's kit and then I'll bring another grenade.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Soldier's kit, and then I'll go with a hand weapon just because maybe I should bring Blackshot, but I can't. Not with both. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, I have Blackshot. No, I'm okay.
Lark?
Lark is going light load and spending both utility on a climbing kit.
Cool. Would you please assemble the dice pool and make an engagement roll?
Are all on the mission oathsworn to the Legion? Yes. Did the commander spend 1 intel to give you foresight and info? No. Is everyone on the mission a specialist or soldier? No. Does any legionnaire distrust the leadership or not fear them enough to obey orders on the battlefield?
Nope.
I think we're good.
I think we're good with this team.
Yeah.
It's definitely weirdo team, but it's
Lark hasn't let Nikolaj die or killed him yet, so...
Yeah. And neither of them are in the leader, so that also...
Oh, this is also true. Yeah.
Are required specialists or equipment not on the mission? No. Did the quartermaster spend horses to equip this mission?
No.
No. And is any legionnaire starting with heavy load? No. Okay. So technically we'd start with 1 die, but none of the specialists are Arcadian.
Yep. Still in the heart of Arcadia.
I forgot about that. Dang it.
Lowest of 2.
1, 2 6s. How about 2 1s instead?
2 1s.
wow.
I mean,
hey, at least it was the primary.
Better than getting that on like a 2-die engagement roll.
Yeah, I mean, the stakes were already like moot.
God.
Avery hates us.
It's okay, it's just the engagement roll.
Okay, so it's maybe a little bit further away than Suleiman had let on, and it's very big and it's very old. Absolutely. The Grand Lyceum is a towering stone structure, and it is not only old and collapsed, but it is under siege by this enormous abomination that you'd heard reports of. It is a grafted, at least 3 times the size of the ones that you'd seen back at the Ramta estate. It is a mess of corpses and vines and roots thrown together to create an engine of destruction that is hurling itself against the base of this building.
Is this basically like a kaiju?
It's not like taller than a skyscraper's kaiju, but it is absolutely, without a doubt, bigger than anything any of you have ever seen. It is the size of a large whale.
Aisling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aisling's very at home now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I feel all right now. Now I understand the situation.
Well, here's the thing about Aisling is...
Tell me.
Aisling took a blight when they blew the horn.
Oh, no.
Right.
And I characterized it as shark teeth, but the like mechanical thing is rage.
That's true.
I think as we're like approaching this thing, Aisling's like kind of sunken eyes are like kind of wide, popping out almost, maybe going a little bit bloodshot.
Does it maybe make a sound that sounds like the whales of the far south?
I mean, I think any big thing is going to make sort of a characteristic, just kind of low wail.
Yeah.
That will be familiar even if it's not similar.
Mm-hmm.
The like vibration of the airwaves as this like massive sound erupts in the distance.
Yeah. And then surrounding it, there are at least a couple dozen of these other Never that we saw very briefly at the end of the other mission. These stags, these like piecemeal skeletons that have been tied back together with knots of vegetation and then lit afire that are prancing about, screaming in pain as they're burning. These are embers. And they are surrounding the building. You're in a desperate position. And there is a 12-step clock on the board, which is the Never destroying the Lyceum.
Okay. We got Never decks on 2 motherfuckers right now.
Yep.
Yerp.
How does the Never dex work again?
It gives us, it's on the campaign page of the thing.
Gather
Once
information.
permission,
Go ahead.
yeah, gather information with research when you encounter a new type of Never.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a once per mission.
It is.
Yeah. But I mean, we do have 2 new ones here now, so.
I guess we could ask questions on both of them.
Well, if we really want to rules game it, you did mention, Brendan, we saw these briefly, the deer ones, and we didn't use the Never decks there.
Yeah, that's true.
We saw the deer one?
Yes,
So-
when we blew the horn.
I mean, the camera saw them. I don't think they arrived as you were leaving the camp.
Yeah, we didn't encounter them.
The group of people, the Legion did not encounter them. In that
They got spooked by the horn.
Yeah. They got spooked by the horn and they fled, charged headfirst into some trees elsewhere in the forest.
All right. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Fan of the players, but true to the fiction. You can use it on one of the others.
Okay, which of these do we think is going to be the thing we're going to be messing with the most? I feel like it's the embers. I feel like we mostly want to be avoiding the grafted.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, so then we want to use this on the embers. I think Nabain and Nikolaj both have 2d6 for research rolls.
Yep.
Chris, do you have a preference here?
Nabain's been on more missions, but Nabain is also leading this, so Nikolaj can look through it can research stuff while Nabain continues to be in charge of this mission.
Sure, sounds great.
After somebody says that we should avoid the big grafted, we see Aisling just staring at it, not paying attention to the conversation.
Great.
Cool.
Good. Love that.
That feels good and safe. 2d6, Never dex. Is there position? Oh no, it's gather information.
Just gather information, you're fine.
Safe.
Everything's safe, you're fine.
A
6.
That's a 6.
And also a 1 because never safe. Okay.
Good thing that wasn't the engagement roll, because that would have been a lot more depressing.
Yeah.
Ask me.
I don't know.
Ask me 3 questions.
Okay, about these fire deer things. I mean, is there? Does this fire look that it could be put out with? We don't have water on hand. What can we use to put out this fire? The fire that they're on, if anything.
So they seem to be producing something that keeps them lit aflame.
Great.
And so whatever kind of extinguishing agent you would use that like cuts off the supply probably wouldn't work. You would need to douse the flame entirely all at once. Like dumping a bunch of sand on them or completely immersing them in water or something like that. That said, once you did that, they would absolutely be like out of like no longer on fire.
But like a light rain isn't gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's all or nothing with these things.
Okay, that's good to know.
I have a suggestion.
Sure.
For the feral, we know that they're like extremely sensory, and we've been able to use that to our advantage in terms of distractions.
Distracting.
Is there any sense that there's anything they're especially cued into that we could use as a way of directing their attention?
Nikolaj, does this sound good to you?
Yeah.
So, yes, in the way that the feral are cued into sensation, the embers are keyed in a weird way to fear. They are incredibly flighty, incredibly nervous creatures. They're, in a way, even more animalistic than a lot of the other Never that you've seen. And in a way, they are attracted to that same kind of psychic damage. They will avoid things that seem overly confident, but they will swarm towards things that cause them to panic.
So they go towards things they're afraid of. Okay.
Yeah. Like nonsensically, they will like
reverse fight or flight.
Right, exactly.
Okay, okie dokie.
We're like, if there was, like, if a Tyrannosaurus arrived on the field or something like that, they would run away from it, absolutely. But if other, like, normal deer showed up, they would, like, charge towards them and smother them in flames.
Okay.
So they will still run away from things that scare them. Okay. Right?
But it depends a lot more on the positioning of the thing that is trying to scare them, more so than the thing. Like, they would run away from a Tyrannosaurus. They would also run away from a small dog or a badger.
Right.
Because those are things that are very, like, confident in and of themselves, regardless of their size. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
So is it right to say that they would run away from a very, like, confident and boisterous child, but smother a crybaby?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Horrifying example, but yes.
And somehow this isn't like the other Never, I forget the name of already.
Whispers?
The grafted. They're not running away from that or anything.
No, they have some. Well, no, that's not true. Yeah, they are actually, like, not especially keen to get anywhere close to the grafted. They are here, absolutely, but no, they're not. They are not working. They are not coordinated in any kind of way.
Okay.
Then, yeah, that. Did we get 2 questions or 3? I forget.
You got 3. You got a 6.
Okay, great. Because that makes me want to ask, like, what is keeping them around? Is it the grafted or is it something else?
It's a good question, and I don't know that you can tell based on the available information that is here. It either seems like they were just, like, let loose in this place in the hopes that they would continue to do that. There might be some sort of presence here that is, like, almost like a game warden, like, corralling them or attracting them, guiding their behavior in some way.
Okay. But threat 4 is definitely the highest on this mission. Ruin's not here.
That is, yes, that is true.
Okay, good to know.
Yep, absolutely.
Okey-dokey.
Yeah, that is true.
But maybe a funny lieutenant of some sort.
Maybe. Anyway, you're here and they arrived and it's bad. You're in a desperate position.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm aware.
Nikolaj relates all this information.
I would like to flashback.
Oh.
I would like it to the player Matthew and also Nabain think that if the thing we want here is underground, there might be an underground route to it. And that might be easier to get to and potentially safer than trying to go through what seems like an open plain that's swarming with Never.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, hell yeah. Sewers.
Yeah, I mean, we could do sewers again. We love sewers in Mission 1. Callback. So I would like to do a flashback where Nabain has figured out if and where this route exists.
Nikolaj has maps. Find maps.
Well, actually, maybe this should be Nikolaj doing this then.
I have Infiltrator. When you gather info through clandestine observation or attempt to bypass traps and security measures, gain potency.
Well, in that case, maybe this is just a clock. We should put a clock on board. There's actually several actions that need to happen here.
Okay. This is a 8-step clock. Find another way in. No, that's not true. It's a 6-step clock.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just for finding it, maybe for getting.
Yeah. Who kicks this off?
I think it makes sense to start with Nikolaj.
Totally.
To give Lark some ideas of where to look.
Like a setup for Lark?
Yeah.
We could do it as a setup action, but it might just be, I mean, you have fine maps. I think you can do a lot of damage on this clock.
This is true. Okay. Then I'm gonna do some research.
Okay.
Now, if this is a flashback, is this less bad position-wise?
So, yes, but I think the trade-off is that it's less effect.
Find
Find maps.
To know what's there.
Yeah, find maps or any kind of like effect improvement obviously would offset that.
Right.
So it would be like risky or controlled standard instead of desperate, great, or whatever.
So if Nikolaj wanted to do this flashback, I would say it's controlled limited. Find maps would put you at controlled standard.
Okay.
Versus desperate great right now.
Yep.
Oh, we love a... Yep.
Well, here's the thing, Kris.
Uh-huh.
You could exchange position for effect.
I could.
From controlled standard to risky great, that's a lot better of a deal to me.
That's true. Okay. How many stress is this flashback?
2.
Ooh.
Oh, well, in that case, you might as well just be here and push.
I can help with stress. I also have a fine compass and maps.
You know what? I will say the commander spent the intel to know that this place is like a weird ruin. I think that makes it a 1 stress flashback. I think that's fair.
1 stress, risky. What were you saying, Gavin?
Oh, I can spend 1 stress to help. I also have fine maps and scrolls. And compass.
Okay, yeah. Let's just do this here and now and go. So it's desperate great with the help. The help can I can use for position, right?
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, it's risky great. Okay. 2d6. 2d6. Risky great. Research.
That's a 6.
That is a 6.
Phenomenal.
Oh boy.
And we decided to be here for it, so that's good.
I'm getting lulled into a full sense of security.
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
Great.
I'm in danger voice. I'm not in danger.
Maybe Kris should just do all of our rolls from now on.
Sure.
Don't. No, that's not a good idea. I've rolled my fair share of... I feel like I had a string of games where Kyle was only rolling like a 4 and down, so I wouldn't take that bet.
Well, this is not even Kaio. This is Nikolaj, famous
That's
for his
true.
good luck.
Yeah, different characters roll differently. It's proven.
Yeah.
Fate wants Nikolaj to live.
It's true. So first of all, Nikolaj, are you like explicitly looking for stuff related to the bunker, to an Eyes of Smoke bunker?
So I was gonna say, like, when you brought up the Eyes of Smoke connection, like, is this a place Nikolaj has maybe not been but knows about enough to be like
you've seen the floor plan?
Yeah, has either seen the floor plan or has heard people talk about this place and is like, no, I remember someone mentioning this sort of thing. So like looks for that in the maps first as opposed to just like an overview, like actually has a first step to like key in on a certain area.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know that the Eyes of Smoke have these underground installations and that because they are underground, they have networks not only for letting fresh air in, but collecting rainwater or dumping out sewage and stuff like that.
I like the idea of the Eyes of Smoke, like their like constructions and places and stuff, like they do shit underground, and that's why when we found Nikolaj, his first instinct was like, I will hide in the floor.
That rules.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that just like the Eyes of Smoke just generally have their constructions below ground level?
Yeah, I wonder if it's, to a degree, like underground feels safer.
For sure.
And also preserves
like a
things
vault
better.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Further
like a
from
vault
the
kind of
sky.
thing.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Safe from the sky. Okay, yeah. Then you automatically begin, where in the records to start looking for like the diagram of like how one of these things would be constructed. I think maybe you're like, you realize that maybe there's some stuff in the archives that were taken from Loggerhead that has this kind of schematic in there to start looking through, which it sounds like you're going to feed to Lark to look for.
Yeah, Lark was helping, so it's just going over this with Lark, and probably brings up Loggerhead. Do you remember where you found me? I had the goes into how he had kind of like made that little hole in the floor. It's like, and based on that, this area here is where we would have, or where there should be some kind of way in based on X, Y, and Z factors.
Lark nods, very focused, and I guess I'm going to do a scout roll.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
So, because like it may be on a map somewhere, but like, decay of the land, erosion and whatnot may make the entrance look funny to somebody who isn't a scout, I guess, or who isn't scouting.
Yeah. Nikolaj could be like, look for this kind of feature, this kind of geographical feature, this kind of material. That's what we would use in an underground access.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know if you need help on this roll, but I have an idea if you want it.
Well, let's hear the position and effect.
Okay.
And if Infiltrator actually triggers here.
Sure. Infiltrator says Yeah, 100%. So I think with Infiltrator, you'd be looking at Desperate Great to start with.
Okay. What's your idea, Ashley?
Since y'all learned from sort of the Neverdex thing that they're attracted to fear, I think there is a similar quality in Ashling's new Blighted Rage that is similar to that. Sort of the shark instinct. So like using Ashling as sort of a compass for whatever that feeling is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. The Lark not like physically dragging Ashling, but like taking them with her and just paying close attention to his mood.
His slathering.
Like a fear Geiger counter. Ashley starts beeping softly.
I'm going to take that as dice.
I'm sure that he's still sort of adjusting to these teeth, so I think he might like be drooling a little bit.
That's
Gross.
great.
Good.
Just chewing on something at all times, like when babies are teething.
Jesus.
I don't think shark can chew.
I think sharks can chew.
I think they can gnash.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's another 6.
There's
Okay.
another 6.
What'd I say?
And take that XP also.
There we go,
Oh,
folks. You have a good plan. You do it well.
That's it. We'll call it here. Great game, everyone. Before it inevitably goes to
Party
hell.
handshakes all around. Mission complete. Okay. So, you find a very, very well camouflaged disposal duct
Wonderful.
where there is a steady flow of black, really chunky water flowing out into a stream. It's big enough that you feel like a person could get into. It's not comfortable. You'd have to, any of you would have to crouch to get into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can make your way through it and get inside.
This feels like a group maneuver.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nabain can lead it. We want to get in here and out from this big open plain where they could see us at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
What's the position?
I think you're still desperate. If you get in here, you'll move out of desperate and into risky.
Would having Lightfoot make that any different? Because Nikolaj does. Lightfoot says fast or quiet.
Fast, quiet.
There you go,
normal. Yeah, I think Lightfoot would apply here.
Sweet. So what does that mean mechanically? Or does it just like...
Great question.
Nikolaj is very good at tiptoeing. Yeah.
Maybe the consequences don't hit Lark and Nikolaj as hard as the others.
That's great. I love that. Let's go with that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because like I'm imagining like there's a cave in, and then the party gets split up, and it's Nikolaj and Lark in one side, and Nabain and the rookies on the other.
Oh, I like that a lot.
And Aisling.
Thank you, Gavin.
Yeah.
That's a good present.
Oh, and Aisling, who's not a rookie.
Great.
Cool. Yeah, let's see if that happens. Let's do this.
Who's leading this?
group
Nabain is
maneuver.
leading this?
Nabain.
Nabain.
That's fine.
Wow, what is happening?
It's all the sixes from before.
I see
4
they
and
died.
5. There's a 5.
Well, we
One
need
hard to
Nabain's
fail.
maneuver.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I was reading.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's only one stress for Nabain so far.
Yeah, that's
and our high
fine.
roll is a 5.
I'll take a 5.
Just get a 6. Just
yeah,
get a 6.
Let's see. That's a 2d6 from. That's a 5. That's fine.
It's close.
Okay.
And 1 stress.
One
a
stress.
5. Let's go.
Mixed success. Desperate standard.
Yep.
All right, everybody take that XP also.
Ooh, hell yeah.
This is going to be the
Almost
XP mission.
Ooh, yeah.
Every
I need it
mission's
if
the
I wanna
XP
try to
mission
get
if
a-
you're playing properly.
Let's do a couple more of those. Get 2 more of them, maybe, and then I can take another experiment.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
We're getting out of risky. You can put yourself back in desperate if you want to be Aisling.
It's true. You can be in desperate position at any time.
Yeah, just when I was
Okay,
doing
yeah.
the math earlier on what it
No.
would take to get him up to be a heavy.
Fuck it. We just forecast it. Let's just do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not resisting that. That's great.
This enormous grafted, who's named Scourge, begins throwing
Oh,
its
boy.
body against not only the Grand Lyceum, but against the ground. And it causes everything to shudder. And you are moving through this sewage system, which is gross and it is awful and it is cramped and it begins to fall. And there is a moment where you are trying to figure out which way through a fork in the road that you are trying to go, and the party gets split up. Oathsworn is an actual play podcast created by
Devin Nelson.
Gavin Fregeau.
Kris Allison.
Matthew Guzdial.
and me, Brendan McLeod. All music for the show is created by Devin Nelson. Find it and more at devindecibel.bandcamp.com. Find a link to their music and any of the games that we've played in the podcast description. Follow us at OathSworn Pod on Twitter or OathSworn on co-host. Until next time.